So one of the tools or skills that I learned from learning energy work is how important and obvious it is just to follow the flow. And that our power and our health is all dependent upon what creates flow in our body. And whatever is creating flow in our body is also creating flow in our life. And that may not necessarily mean that we say yes to everything that's in front of us. I think that there are those of us, and it depends on our wiring, because we all have different wiring. And so for all of us, certain things will come easy to some and harder for others, and vice versa. So it's almost like there's a camp where yes is easy, no is hard. Other people, no is easy, yes is hard. And none of us can be boxed in. Don't try to box yourself in. That's so boring and not real. But in following our flow, this is where it can be so essential to be able to feel in our own systems. And yes, practices are coming, but to recognize, what does expansion actually feel like in my body? And what does contraction feel like? What does flow feel like? What does stagnancy feel like? Where do I feel a little scattered or broken? Just being able to read the fabric of ourselves, or feel it, or to know it, and to trust it. And so often we make choices according to our head, our mind, the agreements that we made, this idea that we have to uphold some commitment that we made to someone else, which usually could be happening. When we commit, we don't necessarily commit with our full being. Sometimes we're just committing on a verbal level, but not on a spirit level, or we're committing on a mental level, but not on an emotional level. So there's a very big difference when we are stepping into any choice that we're making with the totality of ourselves. And the only way we can pull anything off is when we're really stepping in with the wholeness and the fullness of ourselves. Like there's a full agreement on all levels. And it is so liberating to actually decide, all right, you know what? I'm going to make choices, whether it's people I hang out with, my lovers, my work, my environments. Like I'm actually going to go with that which expands and nourishes me. And that it can change from day to day. Like there will be people where I'm like, yeah, in this moment, it's not a nourishing interaction. So you're not my yes right now. And in another moment, there's a total delight that is occurring from this. So our mind can get very fixated on some formula. I mean, look at how people are constantly advertising, like, well, just do this little thing and you're going to be sorted, right? Because no one wants to admit how terrifying it is to be in this ever-morphing, multi-dimensional universe that is just, its truth is mystery, right? So it takes a lot of guts to get real with that. And to really respect what actually creates flow. And to get honest by those things that we're still holding ourselves in that doesn't create flow. And it's like, oh, well, I'm doing it because I didn't want to lose the money, or, I didn't want to let that person down, or it seems like a good idea, but inside it doesn't feel so good. Like how many times we mentally manipulate ourselves. I mean, the world is getting ravaged by mental manipulation. So that's just something to be aware of. And the last little note I want to put on this is, especially if no is a scary thing for you. No is actually what creates boundaries, limits, and definition. So when I really start to own my no, which actually comes from like solar plexus, third chakra, it also is a way to start to ground my truth into present reality. So instead of just allowing all possibilities just to flow around, no is also creating container so that this beautiful sparkling energy has a place to come into form. So these are my little cat notes to you on this Sunday.